So we're going to continue with covalent compounds, and we're going to create other compounds. Rather than just hydrogen, we're going to try to form something, and let's try it using a hydrogen atom and a carbon atom. So in order to make a covalent compound, I look up in the periodic table, hydrogen's in group 1A. I have 1 valence electron. Carbon has 4 valence electrons. I'm going to equally space out those electrons around it. All right. And even better, what I'm going to do is I'm going to redraw carbon in the center of this diagram. So the idea is to fulfill the octet. So for the octet, hydrogen wants to get to 2 electrons surrounding hydrogen, and that's through sharing electrons. And carbon wants to get 8 electrons, and that's through sharing. So let's try sharing a hydrogen with this carbon. What happens? Well, we can see that we're sharing these electrons, and now hydrogen itself, this hydrogen, has 1, 2 electrons surrounding it, so hydrogen is happy. It has a stable octet, hydrogen is happy, and this is good. But let's take a look at the carbon atom. The carbon has 1, 2, 3, and now we can say that there are 5 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the bond. 5 electrons around carbon. Well, that's not enough. It needs 8 electrons. So by putting on 1 hydrogen, we've only given carbon 1 more valence electron. So let's try putting another hydrogen on for it to share. Let's see what happens. So again, new bond forms. This hydrogen, the new one, now has 2 electrons in its outer shell. It has a stable octet. This is a happy atom. The carbon we take a look at, and we see that it still only has 1, 2, 4, 6 electrons total around the carbon. So what does this mean? It means we've got to keep adding hydrogens in order for carbon to obtain its stable octet. Let's add 1 more. I'm running out of colors. And there we go. So we now have 3 hydrogens around it. Carbon now has 1, 3, 5, 7 electrons. We're missing 1 electron. We're so close to having a stable octet around carbon. We'll add 1 more hydrogen. A new bond. Now we take a look. Each one of the hydrogens has 2 valence electrons. It has a full octet. Each one of the hydrogens is happy. And now we look at carbon and we go through and see it has 2, 4, 6, 8 electrons shared and surrounding it. Carbon now has a stable octet. Carbon is happy. This is the molecule that will exist between carbon and hydrogen in its basic form. So we can redraw this, and I'll use lines for every shared pair of electrons, and that's it. This is methane. This is the methane molecule, and I can also further write it as CH4 as a short form. So each one of these exists. These are all different models of what methane looks like. Each one of them gives a different bit of information, but they all mean the same thing.